Hi, I'm Roger Stevens and welcome to A Poem a Day for National Poetry Day, week day 2. It's National Poetry Day this week on Thursday, and every day this week I'm going to show you how to write a short poem. We're going to do that in under 10 minutes, and so it's going to be very fast. I'm probably going to be jogging about a lot as I get more and more excited writing this poem. So you can replay the video, and maybe anything you missed the first time you can pick up the second time. So this is day 2, and we're going to be looking at the Clerihew. Now the Clerihew was a poem invented by somebody called Edward Clerihew Bentley, and they became popular around 1905, so that's 115 years ago. They've been around a long time, and the idea of the Clerihew is to gently poke fun of famous people. It's kind of an early form of satire. So for the Clerihew we need the name of a person to write the poem about. Before we do that, I'm going to read you some examples. These two by Edward Clerihew Bentley himself. Edgar Allan Poe was passionately fond of roe. He always liked to chew some when writing anything gruesome. Here's another one. This is about Lewis Carroll, who wrote Alice in Wonderland. Lewis Carroll bought sumptuous apparel and built an enormous palace out of the profits of Alice. Now, they're very easy to write. The reason being, not only are they just 4 lines, they have a rhyme, A, B, B. So the first 2 lines rhyme, the second 2 lines rhyme. But unlike most poems, the rhymes don't have to be that great. In fact, part of the fun of the poem is coming up with quite outrageous, sometimes, rhymes. So you've got to find the rhyme of somebody's name. So usually when you write a rhyming poem, it's like, you come up with like clunky rhymes that don't quite work. But here, it's actually a good thing because it all adds to the humour. Okay. The other thing that makes them fun to write and quite easy to write is the lines can be of any length. So usually the rhythm and the length of the line is quite important when you're writing a poem. But in this case, they can be any length that you like. Okay, so there are a couple of examples. Here's a modern one. No wonder Donald Trump is such a grump. Even if you're a billionaire, it won't necessarily buy you good hair. Okay. Winnie the Pooh, what does he do? I wish I had as much money as Winnie the Pooh has honey. Now we're going to be writing about a visionary because the theme of this year's National Poetry Day is vision. So we're going to be looking for somebody from history, or maybe somebody in the news, who is a visionary. And maybe somebody you've studied at school. You can look somebody up on the internet maybe. So we're looking for a visionary, somebody from the past. To do that, I'm going to look in this book that I have. It's a big book, as you can see. And this book is called Every Person in the World Who Would Make a Good Subject for a Clerihew by Are You Having a Laugh? Who's a Polish writer. So, there we go. So I've looked in the book, find somebody influential. Here's somebody, Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage, the father of the computer. So I'm going to be writing in rough. So you need some rough paper. This is what I'm going to use here. The thing about planning your poem, any poem, is when you first start working it out, in first draft or in rough, it doesn't matter too much about being super neat and super tidy. You want to get your ideas down as fast as you can. Presentation is very important but it's much better to get your ideas. We can worry about presentation later on when we've written our poem. Similarly, spelling. Don't worry about your spelling, not yet. It's important, but we can worry about that when we've got our poem sorted. It's more important to keep your brain clear to come up with ideas. We're doing Charles Babbage. So I'm going to write Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage. Okay, straight away I can think of a rhyme for Babbage. Can you think of one? Babbage? Yes, you're right. Cabbage. Did he like cabbage? Charles Babbage. Did he like cabbage? Now, the last line, it's got to have the word, it's got to end with the word computer, really, hasn't it? That's what he did. Da 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 da, computer. He was the father of the computer. He invented the computer. So what rhymes with computer? Neuter, refuter. He couldn't refute her. Computer. He couldn't find a suitor. Maybe a rhyming dictionary would be very handy for this, actually, writing a Clerihew. Charles Babbage, did he like cabbage? Who knows? Who knows? But we know he changed the future. But we know he changed the future by originating the concept of the computer. By originating, he didn't really invent the computer, but he sort of made it possible. He was a visionary, really. He envisaged it by originating the concept, I'm going to put, of I think it was the fact that it was programmable. Look how long this line is as well. See, it doesn't really matter. First line's only Charles Babbage is very short. Charles Babbage, did he like cabbage? Who knows, but we know he changed the future by originating the concept of the programmable computer. There we go. That's a Clerihew. That's how you write them. Do a little bit of research. Have a look at some other Clerihews. There's some great ones out there. If you've got The Works by Paul Cookson Macmillan, it's a big red book. You may well have it in your classroom. And that's got some great Clerihews in it. That's it, really. You could do your own name. How about Clerihew about yourself? Roger Stevens, amidst odds or evens, that by the end of the day he would have written a poem. Okay? Or maybe write one about your teacher or about your friend. Dead simple. 4 lines. AABB Clerihew. There we go. When you've written your Clerihew, you might like to send it to my website, which is the Poetry Zone, and we are going to be publishing all the poems you send over the next couple of weeks, and we even are going to have a prize for the poems that we like the best. So if you go to the Poetry Zone and go to the competition page, there you will find details. Send your poem there, but have fun, okay? Just have fun writing them. Tomorrow we're going to deviate just very, very slightly from the theme of vision, because I want to talk a little bit more about rhyming. Rhyming is very, very tricky, and I'm going to give you a very simple way to write a brilliant rhyming poem. Okay, it's a little trick. It's a secret, really. It's a little secret trick for writing rhyming poems. So that's going to be tomorrow on Wednesday. So I hope you've enjoyed the Clerihew. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.